Good morning, UI. Don't sound excited to see me. Good morning, UI. It's a genuine pleasure and honor to stand before you today as first speaker, Momentum, to take you on a journey with me. I'm Nnanna. Simply call me Nnanna. Forget all the titles and all those, many things they said. I really just want to encourage you to follow me on the journey I'm going to take you on today. All right? We have a deal? You're going to follow me on the journey? Amazing. Amazing. All right. Imagine for a second you walk into a room full of strangers, pretty similar to what you have here today. A room full of strangers. And then for some reason, you're made aware that every single stranger in that room has the key to a door that you're going to need at some point in your life. Would you walk out of that room empty-handed, or would you walk out of that room with a handful of keys? If you're like me, you would definitely not walk out of that room empty-handed. That is like the start of the power of networking. That goes to tell you how important it is to build networks. Growing up, I never really was sure what I wanted to do in my life, to be very honest. I always knew I wanted to be successful. All right. I always knew I wanted to make a lot of money. At every different phase of my life, what I wanted to be changed. And I'm sure my story is very similar to a lot of us here. I'm guessing many of us are undergraduates. You're still not very sure that what you're studying is what you're going to practice, right? Oh, don't be shy now, right? Of course. I studied mechanical engineering, but I was sure that I was not going to become an engineer. I was very sure. But then the question kept running through my mind, what exactly do I want to do? So what did I do? I thought to look up some of the people I admired the most. I will talk about some of them. Are my slides ready? Uh-oh, I don't know if my slides are ready. 1 minute? All right, so we'll just keep on the journey, right? I decided to study some of the people I really wanted to be like, and just hope and see if they would give me some form of direction, some form of sense to what exactly I would make out of my life, knowing already from the, they said only the Alpha and the Omega knows the end from the beginning, but I felt I knew the end from the beginning, that I'm going to be successful. Okay. And one thing that really resonated with a lot of the people I studied, and we're going to look at a lot of them today when my slides are ready, is they were very good at building relationships. They were very good at building connections. Now, I'm sure many of us have heard the popular saying that without connections, nothing really works in Nigeria. Well, it may be a shock to you to tell you that without connections, almost nothing works anywhere in the world. I mean, the world runs on network. The world runs on relationships. Okay. That is why the likes of Tony Elumelu, who we'll be looking at as well, you would always, I don't know how many of you follow him on Instagram. How many of you follow Tony Elumelu on Instagram? Great. Have you noticed something about him? That man is always outside. Tony is always entering one flight or meeting one world leader or attending one conference. And then I ask myself, what time does this man used to work? Like, when does he actually run his businesses? Well, that's a man that understands the power of building relationships. Of course, we can't trivialize the fact that he's probably built up structures and systems that run his companies even without his full presence. But then that allows him to pay attention to what matters the most to him: relationships, connections. So it's my hope that living here today with the theme of momentum, I inspire something in you that sets you on a rampage to meet people build genuine relationships, care about people, and offer value, because value is very important. Okay. I don't know how many of you have heard about the 51-49 principle. The 51-49 principle simply states that in every relationship you're involved in, always offer 1% more than the other person, regardless of the basis of the relationship. If it's a friendship, it's a work relationship, it's in your apartment, in your church, in your religious organization, whatever, always offer 1% more value than the other person. All right. Okay, great. Can we go back a little bit? This is way too ahead. Go back, go back. Great. So I think we can stop here. Okay, so we're going to look at 3 people today and study their strategy when it comes to building relationships. Shutting down. All right, so we saw the 3 people that were on the board. You had Cosmos Maduka, the founder and president of the Coscharis Group. I already talked about Tony Elumelu, and then we had Richard Branson, who is the founder as well of the Virgin Group. Now, Cosmos Maduka is quite the popular figure, nowadays. He goes on to speak to people and motivate people. But I'll tell you a little story about his rise into being a successful entrepreneur. So Cosmos used to be a spare parts dealer somewhere in the East. He used to be a spare part dealer, he sells spare parts in the market. And then he realized that he could be doing more than he currently is doing. He could be doing more than he's doing. So what did he do? He did something very daring. He managed to gather as much money as he could, board a flight, and go straight to the Honda factory to meet some of the people that sell these spare parts to him. And Cosmos had one goal in mind. His goal was that when he gets there and he meets them, he will try his best possible, way to make sure that they are friends with him, to make sure that they are comfortable with him. So he did that. He went there, he met them, and he built a very, very strong relationship with Honda. Coming back to Nigeria, he came back with a feather in his cap that he didn't have when he left. And what's that feather in his cap? He became the exclusive authorized dealer of Honda parts in Nigeria. And that was how he started. So I'm sure he said, so this strategy actually worked. Well, you know what? I'm going to mass produce it. All right. I'm going to meet more car sellers and build more relationships with them. I don't know how many of you are aware today, but Coscharis Group is the only official exclusive dealer of Land Rover and Jaguar in Nigeria. Land Rover is the maker of which popular car? Range Rover. So Cosmos Maduka is the only exclusive dealer of Range Rover in Nigeria. Any other person selling is selling from, you know how we do. All right. And then lastly, we'll talk about one of my personal favorites, Richard Branson. This is a man I've studied extensively in my life. The founder of the Virgin Group. What's his story? So Richard went to a party someday. He hadn't founded the Virgin Airlines. I think he just had the Virgin Media at the time. And in his usual fashion, if you know a lot about Richard, Richard is a fun-loving guy. Richard loves to throw parties. Richard loves to have fun. Similar to TOE, Tony. And then Richard goes into a party that he was invited for, and then he sees a gentleman sitting at one corner, just minding his business all through the night. And Richard kept looking at the man, and he's like, why is this guy just sitting on his own? And at some point, in his usual fashion, Richard walked up to the guy and said, hello, my name is Richard. Nice to meet you. What's your name? And the man introduced himself back. And Richard got to find out that that man he walked up to was the CEO of Boeing Airlines. I'm sure you know Boeing Airlines. They are the most popular, airplane makers in the world. One thing led to another. Partnership got, agreed upon. And that gave birth to Virgin Airlines. The rest is history. The rest is history. So these three men exemplify the power of building networking. And you would learn for the rest of the journey that it takes absolutely nothing for you. It costs you nothing for you to start to live this way and to build relationships. Next slide, please. What is the networking effect? Can we see what that is? The phenomenon where relationships amplify opportunities, resources, and influence is the key to personal and professional growth. You can't do it on your own. Humans were built not for independence, but for interdependence. Okay? Which is why the creation story, according to my belief and my faith, which is Christianity, is that when God made Adam, he saw that he needed a helpmate. And then Eve was created. So that on its own tells you that nobody was born to be an island. All right? We were born to build relationships. We were born to build networks. The beauty of it, at least for us, is that at this stage, many of us here are going to be exceptionally successful people in life. Imagine if you knew Mark Zuckerberg when he was still an undergraduate and he was your guy. Or imagine if you knew GB. GB is the founder of Flutterwave when he was in university and he was your guy. Just imagine for a second. And you guys were both ambitious, both trying to make something out of your life. And then GB popped. Think of ways that would have boosted your growth as well. Many people sitting right beside you today, here and now, are going to be way more successful than the people I've just called. The question to you is, what are you going to do about that? Next slide. Next one. So we're going to juxtapose two types of relationships. There are people who don't fully grasp the concept of building, real relationships, and those who build superficial networks. So what are some of the qualities of superficial networks? They focus on quantity of contacts, just take numbers. It's not about just taking contacts. Transactional interactions, do this for me, I do this for you. Short-term benefits, what can I gain from you? Little emotional investment. You don't really care about the person. You're just taking the number. Let it be that you took the number. Often forgotten or unused. So you take the number and at least it's in my contact. I don't really care. Now let's see the other category of building network. Next slide. Yeah. Meaningful relationships. Now I want you to compare the two categories. The other one focuses on the quality of the connections. So you meet people who you perceive their value. Oh, this guy is very good at public speaking. I would like to make him my friend. Oh, this lady reads a lot. She has the capacity to read 3 books every week. Oh, I think I need to make her my friend, right? Genuine interactions. So it's not just about what you can gain from them, but you actually care about them. You actually want to know, if they're okay. You actually want to know why you didn't see them for the past 1 week. Long-term mutual growth. You have fixed them into your growth as a person. You have a birthday party coming up. You invite them. They have a birthday coming up. Get a gift for them. Emotional investment and care. Of course, that's you can't afford to trivialize it. You have to care for people. Human beings we are not as logical as we think we are. We are not as logical as we like to believe we are. Best believe. What are we? Human beings are emotional beings. We care so much about how you make us feel. Everybody cares. Everybody remembers the first way a particular person made you feel. And that has a way of setting the tone of how you feel about the person for the rest of your relationship with the person. First impressions. nurtured and maintained. You have to, it's like when you plant a flower, you don't just plant it and say, oh, I planted a flower, and then you go your way. Unless it's like a wild tree or something. But if it's a flower, what do? You have to water it. You water your relationships. You water those you care about. Next slide, please. Let's go. Practical strategies for students. Let's keep going. So we've talked about a lot of this. Be genuine. Authenticity builds trust. Be yourself. Don't be someone else. There's only one of you. All right? Every other person has one. There's only going to be one Tony Illuminati. There's only going to be one everybody. So the only person that is left for you to be is you. All right? So be your authentic self. Add value to people. I already talked about the 51-49 principle. I hope you go home and read about it. Add 1% more value than every other person in the relationship with you. Offer help before asking for favors, which is, talking about value as well. And then leverage technology. Use your social media. Leverage your social media. Next slide. Yeah, like LinkedIn, X, and WhatsApp, among a host of other tools, of course. Building blocks for strong network. You have to find mentors. Find people who seem like what you want to be in the future. I mean, they don't have to be the perfect replica of what you hope to be, but they have something really solid you would love to learn from. Reach out to them. They may be very busy, but with genuine interest in them and consistency in reaching out, I'm sure they would open up. Mentorship is so important. That saves you so much failed experiences, so much mistakes in your journey, and it just helps you get to your end goal faster. All right? Develop peer groups. Oh, I love this. Be the person in your circle that coordinates the circle. I'm passionate about cars, and I want to build a community of people who like cars. Be the one to initiate that conversation. That does something to you. Be the one to create your peer groups. Be the one to create your interest groups. And also join interest groups and peer groups. Reaching out to experts, don't hesitate. LinkedIn, Instagram, you find someone. I mean, we are in the era of content creation, right? You want to be a content creator, reach out to your favorite content creator. Yes, I understand that they may have a host of DMs in their messages in their DMs, but if you consistently reach out and find strategic ways to do that, I will teach you, but I will charge you to teach you how to be strategic about reaching out to them. But that's on a lighter note, right? Be consistent, reach out to them. That does a lot for you. That does a whole lot for you. The best way to build a network. All right, go on. Next slide. So these are some common challenges that people face. And we're going to talk a lot about this, especially for introverts. Unfortunately, I cannot exactly relate to introverts because I myself am an extrovert. Okay, I'm a talk person, which is why this is very easy for me. I'm sorry I cheat the game, but hey, right? Fear of rejection. A lot of people feel like, oh, if I walk up to this person, they're going to be like, excuse me. But then what's the worst that could happen after that, excuse me? They will not reduce your money. They will not arrest you if you do not commit a crime. So don't be scared of rejection. However, what you can do is to be sure your approach is decent. So if your approach is decent, you already know you can't always get a yes in life. And that is just the way life is. You can't always get a yes in life. But if your approach is decent, I'll tell you what that does. Even if you get a no from a person, you've left an impression in their head of you. So anytime they are seeing you again with your decent approach, I think they will react favorably to you. I think they will. Limited resources. Oh, I don't have enough money. Oh, my clothes are not fine enough. Oh, this, that. You know, rub makeup. Nobody really cares. Nobody really cares. Nobody really cares. Just be decent. You don't need any money to network. You don't. People even want to see the authentic you. Be who you are. Dress how you love to dress decently, and meet people, build networks. Okay. And cultural barriers. Oh, you may feel like, oh, I don't exactly grasp this culture. I don't know if it is against the rule to do this, to talk to this, to approach this way. But you have the internet, you can look it up. You can talk to people. Just be very strategic and be very intentional about how you approach people, how you reach out to people, and how you build these networks. Very important. Every challenge is a chance to build meaningful connections. Start now. Next slide. The future of networking. Oh, I love this. Stay relevant. Someone say stay relevant. Staying relevant. Continuous nurturing, right? We've talked about how relationships need time and need effort. You need to commit yourself to people's growth. You need to be intentional about being a part of people's journey. Like I said, imagine being a part of Mark Zuckerberg's journey. Do you know how many times I sit back and I'm like, if I had just sent a DM on Twitter to Mark Zuckerberg in 2002, I don't even know if there was Twitter in 2002, but just imagine if you had just established any form of, or one of the big boys in the industry. Just imagine if you had known them 5 minutes before they blew. Bruh, that would have done so much for you. Man. So you have to be intentional about nurturing relationships. Adaptability, right? Grow with your interest group, grow with your circle. And that's just a function of time. Spending time with them will just see you growing with them. Okay? Spending time with them will just see you growing with them. You learn with them, you evolve with them. This is why you need to be a part of peer groups. Good peer groups, so I did not say cultism. You have to be a part of peer groups. You have to be a part of interest groups that you could grow with people. And then lastly, the ripple effect. The ripple effect. The ripple effect. You could meet one person that introduces you to another person, that introduces you to 5 people, that introduce you to 10 people that are all very, very essential in your journey. That's the ripple effect of networking. That one person, it's kind of like investing in a startup or someone who invests in startups. You never really know. You only hope a startup is going to do well because you can't see the future. I mean, we've seen startups go bankrupt and startups close down. But that one that will enter, sure odd. Sure, you know they got sure odd. Yes, now. That one that we click, that's a ripple effect of networking. Next slide. Your network is more than connections. It's a legacy. It's a legacy in the making. The way you approach people, you custom make your circle. You custom make your circle of influence. You handpick it. It's your journey. You decide. If you let life decide to you, man, life will give you whatever life feels like giving you. But if you decide and you're intentional, you can custom make your circle. And that is so key in your growth. All right? We missed a slide. Can we go back? Beautiful. Biz Dev Nnanna Networking in Action. So I was inspired to start up a community that aids networking. I was hoping somebody's going to clap for me, but maybe I'm just being very, very greedy. All right. So I was inspired to start up a community that would help a lot of young entrepreneurs and young business professionals, people who are very passionate about this topic of networking. And I called it Biz Dev with Nnanna. You can check it out on Instagram, LinkedIn, every social media handle. Connect, reach out. I and my team will definitely respond and help you in your journey. If you need any help on this topic, or you're also just trying to join a business circle, I think we're the one for you. All right. Next slide. So for conclusion, what do we have? Go on. Identify someone you admire. There are 4 steps you're going to do for me today as you leave this place. I'm not going to leave you without a task. The first is identify someone you admire. All right. Could be someone you followed for a while. Could be someone in your department. Could be someone close to you. What's the next one? Reach out and offer value. Find a way to help. Oh, what's you would even find out from your interactions with the person what the challenges are. Oh, I've been trying to get a website that would help me get a short-let apartment. I've been struggling with it. Oh, I know someone. And then you send a number. and then they get the sheltered apartment, and you think they'll forget you. They may not show you immediately that they recognize it, but you've sowed a seed. And that's the power of networking. All right. Next one, focus on trust and mutual growth. You have to be authentic. You have to have integrity about it. Be open to people. Be real. Be real. Focus on mutual growth. Be intentional. And then what's the last one? Grow your network one connection at a time. Let me give everyone here a goal. I'm sure you all have LinkedIn pages. If you don't, you're wrong. Yes, if you don't have a LinkedIn page, you're wrong. Set up your LinkedIn page, and my goal to you is grow your network, your connection to 5,000, and then reach out to me. I have something for you. This doesn't apply to the speaker, so nobody should even try to be funny, right? Anyone here, grow your network to 5,000 connections, and then reach out to me. Cool? Is that fine? Amazing. Okay, every handshake, every idea shared, every collaboration unlocks doors to your dreams, turning your network into a bridge to endless opportunities. I think that's the last slide. Okay. All right. What else? Right. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure embarking on this journey with you. See you some other time. Thank you. Thank you.